Henri Matisse was born in 1869 at Casteau in northeast France. He embarked on a career in law, but during a period of enforced bed rest following an operation, he took up drawing. This was to prove life-changing experience. After he recovered, he gave up his job and moved to Paris to study art. It was there that he discovered Impressionism, Cézanne, Gauguin, and Van Gogh. Although the object of unfavorable criticism, Matisse became a well-known and established himself as the leader of a new avant-garde school, Fauvism. Increasingly, he favored a broad, flat color tints and decorative motif. From then on, Matisse had no difficulty exhibiting and selling his paintings. His success enabled him to live comfortably and to travel. His discovery of Morocco and later Tahiti had a huge impact on his life and led to a change of artistic style. Both places became sources of inspiration for motifs, subjects, light, and color. I'm starting this collage project with an old drawing I've done that I wasn't very happy with. It's done on thick watercolor paper. I've also cut out what I find to be interesting shapes from newspaper clippings. I have my glue and my shapes cut out, and I'm ready to start assembling on the watercolor paper. I've glued different shapes onto the paper, just dabbing the glue, knowing that I will go over them, the pieces, with clear acrylic, with a paintbrush and clear acrylic to get them to stick better. Next, I have used a clear acrylic glaze tinted with some red acrylic paint and started adding a translucent layer to this picture. As the paint dries, it will become more clear because the clear acrylic looks a little foggy when you first apply it. The acrylic paint acts as a glue. Here I'm mixing clear acrylic and tinting it with a little green acrylic. Adding some texture. The texture and the translucent color will make an interesting surface. Starting to add a little detail with some clear acrylic and blue tint, giving a little accent to the shapes because they're starting to get lost a little bit in the composition. This will help them stick out a little bit. and add some more texture to the piece. I cut out a few circles out of the watercolor paper and glued them on top of some of the newspaper clippings. Adding another dimension and another layer to the painting and collage. I drew some of my paintbrushes and I'm cutting them out to see if they might work as a finishing touch in the composition. I'm smoothing the glue out to cover the paper. Help it stick a little better. And I'll smooth that down, see how it looks. I went into the brushes with my pastels to make some definition and help them blend in with the piece a little bit more. The background paper is very heavy and stiff and is holding up well with all the paint. The newspaper clippings are very thin and becoming delicate with the weight of the paint and wetness. So I have to be a little bit careful not to rip the paper. I've added different textural marks with acrylic paint, and at this point I'm going to let it dry and go back into it after it's dry.